Ladies and gentlemen, there are some lessons in life that carry profound wisdom, insights that, when understood, transform how we interact with one another. One such principle is this: an intelligent person never tells a woman two things: her worth and her limits. Why? Because a woman who knows her worth becomes unstoppable, and a woman who believes she is limitless can change the world. Let us first reflect on the significance of worth. Every person has inherent value, a uniqueness that cannot be replicated. But for generations, many women have been told their worth is tied to external factors: how they look, how they serve others, or how much they can give. These false narratives have often silenced dreams and dimmed lights that were meant to shine brightly. An intelligent person doesn't dictate a woman's worth because her worth isn't something anyone else can define. It's not measured by opinions, achievements, or the approval of others. It is intrinsic, woven into her very being. When a woman understands her worth, she doesn't wait for validation from others. She walks with confidence, she speaks with authority, and carries herself with dignity because she knows she is valuable simply for who she is. Now think about the implications of someone telling a woman her limits. It's like putting a bird in a cage, restricting its ability to soar to the heights it was designed to reach. The truth is, no one has the right to impose limits on another person's potential. When you tell a woman what she can't do, you risk extinguishing the fire within her, the fire that fuels dreams, innovation, and progress. But here's the powerful truth: limits are often illusions. They are constructs of fear, doubt, and societal norms that attempt to box people into predefined roles. An intelligent person understands this and chooses not to impose limits on a woman. Instead, they inspire her to see possibilities, to dream bigger, and to break through barriers that others may have tried to place in her path. When a woman discovers her own strength and capacity, she becomes a force of nature. She is no longer bound by what others think she can or cannot do. She starts to push boundaries, shatter glass ceilings, and pave the way for others to follow. History has shown us countless examples of women who refused to be confined by limits. Women who redefined what was possible, not just for themselves, but for generations to come. An intelligent person recognizes that a woman empowered with the knowledge of her worth and the freedom to be limitless becomes a catalyst for change. She brings light to the darkest corners, hope to the hopeless, and strength to the weary. Her influence spreads like ripples in a pond, touching lives far beyond her immediate circle. So, instead of telling a woman her worth or her limits, an intelligent person does something far greater. They honor her worth, nurture her potential, and create space for her to flourish. They speak words that build, not tear down. They encourage her to trust her instincts, embrace her unique gifts, and rise above any obstacle that stands in her way. In other words, because when a woman knows she is valuable and boundless, she doesn't just change her own life, she changes the lives of those around her. She leads with compassion, creates with purpose, and uplifts others with her strength. And when women rise, communities, families, and nations rise with them. Let us be the kind of people who empower, not diminish, who encourage, not restrain. Let us commit to being voices of hope and support, reminding every woman we encounter that she is more powerful, capable, and extraordinary than she may realize. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this timeless wisdom: an intelligent person never tells a woman her worth or her limits. For the moment she knows them for herself, she becomes unstoppable. A woman's worth is an undeniable truth that exists beyond the influence of societal expectations, cultural norms, or external validation. It is not something that can be given or taken away because it is intrinsic, woven into the very fabric of her being. This worth does not depend on her role, her achievements, or her appearance. It is a constant, unshakable reality that simply exists because she does. The unfortunate reality, however, is that many women have been conditioned to measure their value by standards that are not their own. They are told to base their self-worth on how well they fulfill roles imposed on them, whether as professionals, caregivers, or partners. But the truth is that a woman's worth cannot and should not be confined to the expectations others place on her. When a woman begins to understand her own worth, the entire dynamic of how she views herself and the world changes. She no longer seeks external approval to validate her existence or accomplishments. She doesn't rely on the fleeting opinions of others to feel whole because she recognizes that her value is not dependent on anything external. This realization gives her the freedom to live authentically, to embrace her individuality, and to pursue her dreams without fear of judgment or rejection. A woman who knows her worth walks into a room with a quiet confidence, an unspoken assurance that she belongs not because someone allowed her to, but because she inherently does. The journey toward understanding one's worth can be a complex one. Many women have spent years, even decades, doubting their value because of the messages they've absorbed from a world that often underestimates them. These messages might come in the form of unequal opportunities, unfair comparisons, or cultural narratives that diminish their capability. However, the moment a woman begins to peel back these layers of doubt, she uncovers a truth that has been there all along, that her worth is not something to be earned, it is something to be embraced. When a woman knows her worth, she becomes unshakable. She learns to set boundaries that protect her energy and well-being. She no longer feels compelled to please everyone at the expense of her own happiness or health. She understands that her time and talents are valuable and that she has the right to choose where and how to invest them. This clarity allows her to make decisions that align with her values, goals, and purpose, rather than being swayed by external pressures or expectations. But she knows the best time to make changes is now. The power of recognizing one's worth is not just personal, it is transformative. A woman who understands her value inspires others to do the same. Her confidence becomes a light that encourages those around her to see their own potential. She no longer compares herself to others or competes for approval because she knows there is enough room for everyone to succeed. This mindset creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity and empowerment wherever she goes. By knowing her worth, she lifts others and fosters an environment where everyone can thrive. Understanding one's worth also allows a woman to navigate challenges with grace and resilience. Life will inevitably throw obstacles her way, but when she knows her value, she faces them with a sense of purpose and determination. She does not allow setbacks to define her or diminish her sense of self. Instead, she views them as opportunities to grow, learn, and become even stronger. This perspective enables her to remain grounded, even in the face of adversity, because she knows that her worth is not tied to her circumstances or outcomes. Society often benefits from women who understand their worth because these women are unafraid to lead, to innovate, and to advocate for what they believe in. They bring fresh perspectives, challenge outdated norms, and push boundaries in ways that drive progress. Their contributions are not limited by self-doubt or hesitation because they know they are deserving of a seat at the table. When women recognize their value, they create change, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Recognizing worth also extends to relationships, both personal and professional. A woman who knows her value will not settle for anything less than respect, support, and mutual growth. She chooses relationships that uplift and inspire her rather than ones that drain her energy or belittle her potential. In professional settings, she advocates for fair treatment, equal opportunities, and recognition of her contributions. She does not shy away from asserting herself because she knows her worth and is unafraid to claim it. Its core, understanding one's worth, is about embracing one's identity fully and unapologetically. It is about recognizing that being enough is not a destination to be reached, but a truth to be acknowledged. It is a shift in mindset from seeking external validation to cultivating inner assurance. When a woman comes to this realization, she becomes a force to be reckoned with, a person who moves through life with intention, purpose, and the unwavering belief that she is deserving of all the good things life has to offer. Telling a woman her limits is one of the greatest disservices you can do to her. It is an attempt to confine her, to impose boundaries that may not even exist. In reality, limits are often merely illusions, products of fear, uncertainty, or societal constructs that restrict our vision of what is possible. These artificial barriers are often handed down by those who do not understand the depth of human potential, or who are unwilling to challenge the status quo. When a woman is told her limits, it is not a reflection of her abilities, but rather a projection of the speaker's limited understanding. Women throughout history have been told what they can and cannot do. They've been told they are too weak, too emotional, too delicate to pursue certain careers, to speak out, or to lead. These limitations have often been imposed by others, by a world that sees them through a narrow lens of what women are supposed to be. But time and time again, women have shown that these limits are not only false, but they're also meant to be broken. When a woman breaks through these barriers, she does not only prove the doubters wrong, she reveals the strength and resilience that reside within her, showing that no limit can hold her back if she refuses to accept it. Limitations are often driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, and fear of change. It is this fear that convinces others to place boundaries around a woman's potential, as if keeping her confined within a box will make her life more predictable or controllable. But the truth is that growth, progress, and innovation all happen when we challenge our fears and step outside of those predefined limits. When a woman is encouraged to push against her limits, she embarks on a path of self-discovery, developing the courage to face uncertainty and take on challenges that once seemed impossible. We often see that those who succeed are the ones who dare to dream beyond the conventional boundaries. Every great achievement, whether it be in science, art, business, or social justice, came about because someone refused to accept the limits placed on them by others. Women have contributed to society in countless ways, breaking through barriers in fields once thought to be off limits to them. They've climbed the highest mountains, shattered glass ceilings, and achieved things that others thought were out of their reach. The reason they succeeded was not because they adhered to the limits others set for them, but because they dared to believe that there were no limits at all. When women are told their limits, they are often discouraged from pursuing the very dreams that could change the world. A woman who is told she can't succeed in a particular field may choose to step back, second-guess her abilities, and question her worth. But when she is told that there are no limits to what she can achieve, she is more likely to take risks, to pursue her dreams with vigor, and to inspire others along the way. This shift in mindset can be transformative, not just for the individual woman, but for society as a whole. Encouraging a woman to see beyond her limits empowers her to pursue her passions, to challenge societal norms, and to lead with conviction. The idea that there are no limits is not about being reckless or unrealistic, but rather about understanding that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Limits are often self-imposed, born from doubts and fears rather than from any real inability. When a woman embraces the idea that she is capable of more than she might first believe, she finds the courage to push past her doubts and take on challenges that once seemed daunting. Instead of seeing a setback as proof of her limitations, she sees it as a stepping stone on the way to greater achievement. With this mindset, she no longer fears failure, but sees it as a necessary part of the journey toward success. Moreover, the idea of limitless potential is not just a personal philosophy, it has a collective impact. When women refuse to accept limitations, they become role models for other women, showing that it is possible to break free from the constraints society has placed on them. They create a ripple effect, inspiring future generations to follow in their footsteps. This shift in perspective can transform entire communities, leading to greater inclusivity, innovation, and progress. When women are empowered to break their limits, they create an environment where everyone's potential is recognized and nurtured, not just their own. The refusal to accept limits also frees women from the pressure to conform. Societal expectations often place strict guidelines on what women should do, how they should act, and what they should achieve. These expectations can stifle creativity, limit opportunities, and hold women back from exploring all that they are capable of. However, when a woman recognizes that she is not confined by these external pressures, she becomes free to chart her own course. She is no longer bound by what others expect of her, but instead is guided by her own vision, her own dreams, and her own passions. She becomes a force of nature, unafraid to pursue what others might deem impossible. In the end, the idea that limits do not define a woman is empowering and freeing. It reminds us that growth is not linear and that the only true limits are those we place on ourselves. Every woman has the capacity to rise above the challenges she faces and reach heights beyond her imagination. By refusing to accept the limits imposed by others, she becomes the architect of her own destiny, creating a life that reflects her fullest potential. When a woman realizes her worth and understands that there are no limits to what she can achieve, she not only transforms her own life, but also sparks a ripple effect that reaches far beyond her immediate circle. The empowerment of one woman can inspire countless others, creating a network of strength, encouragement, and support. This ripple effect is not just about lifting an individual, it is about lifting entire communities, organizations, and societies. As women embrace their own potential, they inspire others to do the same, and together they create an environment where everyone can thrive. The moment a woman begins to understand her worth, she starts to see her own power. She recognizes that she is capable of more than she ever imagined. And as she steps into her potential, she inspires others to do the same. There is something profoundly contagious about confidence and self-belief. When one woman confidently pursues her goals, takes risks, and embraces challenges, she sets an example for those around her. Her actions speak louder than words, and her courage ignites something in others. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, a daughter, or a stranger, seeing someone take charge of their life encourages others to take charge of theirs as well. This empowerment creates a community of like-minded women who lift one another up rather than compete. When a woman realizes her own worth, she no longer feels the need to compare herself to others or seek validation from external sources. Instead, she encourages those around her to recognize their own unique gifts and talents. She understands that there is enough room for everyone to succeed, and she helps create a space where others feel safe to pursue their dreams. The more women support one another, the more powerful their collective impact becomes. Instead of viewing each other as competition, they become allies, partners in a shared vision of empowerment and success. As one woman rises, she creates opportunities for others. This is especially true in professional and social spaces, where women often face barriers to success. When a woman steps into leadership, she not only paves the way for herself, but for other women who will follow in her footsteps. She becomes a trailblazer, breaking down doors and shattering glass ceilings that may have once seemed impenetrable. Her success doesn't just benefit her, it opens the door for others to walk through. As more women rise, the collective power of their voices becomes undeniable, and the barriers that once limited their opportunities begin to crumble. In this way, the empowerment of one woman creates a broader movement that benefits all women. The ripple effect is not limited to women empowering women. It extends to families, communities, and even entire nations. When women are empowered, they don't just change their own lives. They change the lives of everyone around them. In families, empowered women serve as role models for their children, especially they show the next generation that they're capable of achieving anything they set their minds to, regardless of gender or societal expectations. Sons, too, benefit from witnessing strong, empowered women. They learn the value of equality, respect, and the importance of supporting and uplifting others. In this way, the empowerment of women shapes not just the lives of individuals, but the very foundation of future generations. In communities, empowered women become leaders who advocate for change, inspire others to get involved, and contribute to the social and economic development of their neighborhoods. They become active voices in shaping the policies and practices that affect the lives of those around them, whether it's through leading community organizations, advocating for social justice, or starting businesses that create jobs and opportunities. Investment is everything. Like National Armed Women with their eco household. Empowered women become agents of transformation in their communities. They inspire others to take ownership of their own lives and to become active participants in shaping the world around them. On a larger scale, the empowerment of women leads to greater societal progress. Women have long been at the forefront of social change, advocating for equality, justice, and human rights. When women are empowered, they bring new perspectives and solutions to the table, tackling issues such as poverty, healthcare, education, and climate change. Their voices add depth and diversity to the conversations that shape our world, ensuring that all perspectives are heard and valued. The empowerment of women, therefore, contributes not only to individual and collective success, but also to the overall well-being of society as a whole. When a woman realizes her worth and embraces her limitless potential, she becomes a powerful force for good. The positive impact of her actions ripples outward, touching the lives of those around her and inspiring others to step into their own power. The more women embrace their worth, the more they encourage others to do the same. This creates a cycle of empowerment that leads to growth, opportunity, and progress for all. It's a movement that transcends individual achievement and becomes a collective force for change, one that uplifts everyone it touches and helps create a world where all people, regardless of gender, can thrive.